Hello, YouTube. Yeah, well, we're doing everything again. And I want to go to a desert continent. I kind of want to see what it's like being a camel, basically. But, yeah. Last episode we only had one seminar. About which I basically said, yeah, I agree for so many percent. In part I think it makes a lot of sense, in part I think it's total nonsense. You know? And I feel that's the right way to approach any topic in any topic in philosophy. It's the way philosophers often tend to think themselves. They're not people really prone to demanding you take everything at face value. Okay, making a herd of camels was kind of a mistake, but whatever. We're just gonna live with our mistake. Unless we can be a giraffe, of course. Hooray for the majestic long necks. I'm just gonna be a giraffe, travel around and see where I can find the next seminar. Also, yeah, quick update on what kind of happened. Well, it's really hot in here, as in temperature-wise, like. But that's probably one of the least interesting things I could say. Yeah. Yeah, I've done some stuff. Okay, so I can now join with other mammals, basically. Cool. But yeah, we're working on on another project in uni, and this one I'm quite excited about. Because it's about parasitism, but specifically the form of parasitism where the parasite is stealing the food from its hosts. Well, whatever, apparently I cannot make a connection with oh, I can make a connection with a goat and a camel. Cool. But yeah, it's the type of parasitism where the parasite steals food from its host. So it doesn't directly infect the host, it doesn't do all that stuff that's, I don't know, traditional parasitism, I guess. And turns out that, well, the most charismatic of all parasites does that sort of stuff. The lion. I'm not kidding, we're not doing lions, although they are one of the animals that we Ooh, Okapi too, yay. But they are one of the animals we considered. But now we're doing hyenas and their hosts are leopards. How does hyena stealing food basically affect a leopard's behavior? Which is really fun to think about. And possibly more fun because it allows us to think of a large mammal as being a parasite, really. It's really cool. Wait, where's that lecture? There it is. Oh, it's on the other side of this mountain? Okay. Do I still have the goat and the giraffe somewhere? Or did I let them go? I let them go. Too bad. Now I'm just okapis, zebras and camels. Just those. Well, whatever. Now I have to goat again.
I wonder if it's ever struck you how curious a thing it is that most of the things that we experience we regard as things that happen to us, which we ourselves do not originate, which are events expressing some sort of power or activity that is external to ourselves. And if you consider that, you realize that what you mean by yourself is rather narrowly circumscribed. Even events that go on in our own bodies are put in the category of things that happen to us in the same way as things that go on in the world outside our skins. If there's a thunderstorm or an earthquake, well, it happens to you. You're not responsible for it. But so in the same way, when you have hiccups, you didn't plan on it. If you have belly rumbles, you had no intention of doing it. And as to the catastrophic act of getting born, well, you had nothing to do with that. And you can spend all your life blaming your parents for putting you in the situation in which you find yourself. And this way of looking at the world in this sort of passive mood as something that happens to you goes right down to our general feeling about life. It goes down to the way in which we have been accustomed to look at human existence as a precarious event in a cosmos that, on the whole, is depicted as being completely unsympathetic and alien to our existence.
Okay, yeah, that's actually... Again, I don't 100% agree with it, but I think it's interesting to note that we have a tendency to say, oh, it happened to me, when it's kind of weird to say, oh, it's just happened to me. It's just this thing that happened to happen to me, you know, like, did it happen to you, or did you make it happen, or did in some way the universe that is flowing through you make it happen? I still don't believe I am part of the... Well, I am part of the universe, but I still don't believe the universe is like flowing through me in the way that he describes. Like, I still don't believe that that's the case. I still believe that that's mumbo jumbo. But at the same time, I do think it's interesting actually, for animals or plants with short lifespans, autumn does go on forever. Fun fact. Transformation is definitely worth it. Wow, this is really cool. I really like this. But yeah, this idea of course,
if you're reared with a 20th century, or shall we say an early 20th century common sense, which is based on the philosophy of science of the 19th century, you regard yourself as an accident, a biological accident, in a stupid universe.
True.
Which is mechanical, but has no feelings. A vast, pointless gyration of radioactive rocks and gas in which you happen to occur. Of course, if you don't have that point of view and you are more traditional, you look upon yourself as a child of God. And therefore under authority. In other words, there's a big boss on top of all this. And you better watch your P's and Q's, because that Almighty is looking after you with the attitude of this is going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you. And when you look at the world in that image, or in the other image that it's a stupid mechanism, either point of view you take, you don't really belong. You are not really part of all this. Or to put it in the strongest possible way, it is quite alien to our thought that the external world, which is defined as something that happens to you, and your body itself as something that you got caught up with, it is quite alien to consider all that as you yourself. Because you see, we have such a myopic view of what oneself is.
I think in a way he is not understanding the scientific mindset that says the scientific mindset that says what a oneself is, you know? Like I am myself, and I do belong in this universe, which I do agree with him on. Like, it was even with the vastly small chance of, you know, me or humans in general happening, the chance was still there. And given the infinity of the universe, which is something that, granted, was not really something a 19th century philosopher likely thought of, I'll grant him that. But given the unique vastness of this universe, of course, whatever the chance may be, if there's a chance, it's gonna happen. So there's a small chance of humans, but, well, here we are. So, in a sense, yes, I agree with him, and in a sense, no, I don't agree with him. In a sense, he's right about stuff, and in a sense, he's wrong about stuff. I don't really think there's a better way of describing what I really think of the things that he has said. I don't feel like you can really say yeah, I don't think you can really say, oh, we belong here, or oh, we don't belong here. Well, I think we can say we belong here, by the way, but and we can, but I in a sense, I also think we should be able to say, oh, I am X or I am Y, you know? I know, like the one self is a defined thing within. You know? And I feel like he... You know, we are this thing that is separate from the universe. But I do think we are this thing that belongs in the universe, you know? We belong in this universe just as much as anything else that's in this universe belongs there. Now you may say, okay, well, but I am a human, I have my ethics, and I know that certain things that are in this universe may not be in this universe's best interest. That's a valid way of looking at things, but I still would not say, oh, you don't belong in this universe. Like, whatever the chance of it happening is, it's gonna happen at some point. So, while I do see myself as a somewhat separate entity from the rest of the universe, I certainly know that like my heart cells and my brain cells are part of me and not part of the maple tree on the other side of the yard, you know? That much I know. But I also know that I belong in this universe because the chance of me happening was there, the possibility was there, and since the universe is infinite, any possibility that there is somewhere. Now it may be that, say, the possibility of me but with blue hair, that it might be a possibility, but that doesn't mean that it's anywhere close, you know? It might be, well, on the other side of the universe is kind of not something you can say about something that's infinite. But it might be very far off, but so like anything can happen, so it's not like we don't belong here because we could happen and therefore we happened. I do definitely believe that. But at the same time I would say, yeah. At the same time I would say, yeah. You can define your own self, you know? You can say, oh, I am X or I am Y. Without saying anything that's not true. You know, how should I put this? I think he describes humans as being, you know, he says like you cannot say you are separate from the rest of the universe, and I do not believe that's true. But he says you belong in this universe, and I do think that's true. So I don't think everything he says is true, but I think part of what he says might be based upon some misunderstanding of concepts, in my opinion. But I do think it's interesting. Now, by the way, I looked up this game. The guy saying those things is not alive anymore, unfortunately. So I could not attend one of his lectures today, which is too bad. Because I do think he's interesting, like, don't get me wrong. Wow, I've been rambling on so long. That's more than 20 minutes. Yeah, let's end it at that. All right, guys. Send some pebbles. Wave goodbye. See you later.